when I get a deer, I just make a small insert under the hide, close to the penis, or you only have to open it up right here just to take the intestines out. Just make a small incision. A small knife works just fine. Actually, a smaller knife works much better. And you just open it up. This is where, if you have a gut hook on the back of your knife, it works really nice for that. That way you don't actually cut into the stomach. I just felt right here, that's the bottom of the brisket. That's where the cartilage starts. You don't have to go any further than that. Then being a buck, this is where a lot of people, I think, overdo their field dressing. I just cut right around the testicles. There, everything's in one spot. Take this. And being a meat processor, I don't want this split all the way open. You split that open, you just get leaves and dirt and sticks and everything else in there. So what I do is I just take this, I just cut it off, get rid of it. And now that's all clean. That tube is not gonna do anything to your meat. And then you come to this side. This helps if you have two people, just to hold that back, some back legs up. Just use the tip of your knife. You don't need more. You don't need to be gouging the meat and cutting more than you can see. Once you start doing that, you'll cut your fingers and you'll cut into the intestine or start damaging the better part of the animal that you want as table fare. You just kind of slowly work that in a circle. You're not going to get all of it from this direction. This is the most important part that you can get out, is to remove this anus. If you leave that in there, I process almost 80 deer a year. I can tell exactly what deer the anus has been left in. It will start rotting this within 24 hours. So that is what I would think would be your number one thing to remove when you're gutting. Now, I'm not splitting the brisket. I'm not taking the throat out. Only thing that does is allow for more stuff to enter into your meat. I use just the tip of my knife just to break that belly. And you use your fingers, make a V, just the tip of the knife. This deer is nice and fatty, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult to see what you're doing. Just go slow. The deer's already dead, it's not a rush. I did not break or cut into the guts on that. So this deer was shot, the bullet traveled this way, and I'm sure it already entered into some of the guts. And this deer's been dead for about an hour, so naturally it's going to start decomposing. First thing to decompose is the gas, or is the intestines. So I reach up, you can see this here, that's where everything breaks through the diaphragm. There's the liver, there's the bullet travel, it actually is right there. At this point, what I do is I go to where I can still see my knife and cut that out of there. Cut the diaphragm. Just go slow. You have broken bones and you have a sharp knife. You have all this blood and you're dealing with a insert in this animal's cavity to where it's going to constantly want to shut on you. And there's a path to travel with a bullet right through the liver. That's why it's so bloody. This is a horrible thing if you're going to let a deer sit overnight. This blood rots so quickly. I would not recommend leaving a deer that you know is liver shot sit overnight if possible. For an example, we had a deer come in this year. We had to waste the whole carcass because it sat overnight and it was a liver shot, just due to the blood rotting in it so quickly. This is a bladder, another very common thing people leave in their animal. This is, that's okay though, because we wash all of our animals out. I'm gonna flip this animal over. There's the anus from the inside. This is not my favorite part, reaching up inside and not being able to see what I'm doing. There's the heart. It almost looks like a bullet travel must have been close to it. And instead of cutting the windpipe and possibly cutting yourself, just reach up with two hands. You can feel the top of the lungs. Grab a hold of them and rip them out. Just check, get some of that out of there. Then I'll flip this deer over on its belly. I won't drag it on its belly, just flip it on its belly to get this out of there. Then we'll take it back and rinse it out really good with the hose and try to get that out of there. So at this point, we just take it back to the house. We'll either hang it up or try to arrange it on a hillside if possible, and then hose out the inside of the chest cavity. And that's what we do. We don't split the brisket. I kept this to a very minimal cut back here. Just very little of that round is exposed to get dried out, to get full of dirt and leaves. The anus is out. This is all the further being a deer processor as well. This is how I would prefer them to come in. It's way less work and you get a lot more out of your animal versus other means of field dressing. Not saying that they're wrong, this is just what I would prefer to see hanging in my shop. So the other day I showed you how I got deer, and this is one of the reasons why. We just skinned this deer out. This is the exact same deer we got. And you notice that I was saying do not open this up very much. There's that cord I cut off that went to the testicles. Now all of this meat is clean. It's not dried out. This is the only area that's dried out that I have to trim up. And you cut that deeper all the way to the anus and split that, you have a lot more meat that has to be trimmed up. And obviously when you trim it, you have to throw it away. I also hosed this deer out really nicely. Again, referring to the video, he was very bloody chest cavity, and that's really nice and clean. This deer was shot through the guts as well, just through the bullet path of travel, and there's no remnants of that inside of there either. This is very nice to see in our shop. The brisket is all intact yet, and there's no leaves, there's no sticks, there's no dirt, and this deer is going to be much nicer to process. It doesn't have a lot of cleanup or extra work to do on it. So now you see how I got, and this is why I got. On a doe, you'll have the teeth right here. You can leave them on. You don't have to open any of this up. And if you feel like you have to, or that you should, if it's a warmer day out and you want to get the deer cooled down faster, maybe just do this process to get them through the woods, and once you're in a cleaner area or maybe back to where you're going to hang them, go ahead and split this open more. You're going to get that meat to dry out, but you'll get the animal to cool down, and you won't have sticks and leaves and dirt and all that extra stuff that you don't want on your carcass. So that's what I do and why I do it.
Thank you for watching the Mike Show.